Today I want to show you a tube radio that I picked up at a local antique shop. It's in really good cosmetic condition and I just had to have it when I saw it sitting on the shelf. The radio is an AM/FM receiver. As you can see, we have a selector switch down here at the bottom to toggle between AM and FM frequencies. Now the radio is from the early 1950s, as you can tell by the case, but primarily you can tell by the tubes that are on the inside. If we take a look at the radio on the back, you'll see we have a standard loop antenna right here, and here's our vents for the speaker, and here's a vent for the heat to escape for the tubes. And I'll show you the quick inside of this radio, and we'll see if we can power it up and get it to work. So let's take the case off and see what's inside. Okay, so with a bit of effort I was able to get the case off, and my goodness, look inside. So as you can see right off the bat, we have tubes in the radio, so it is a tube radio. As you can see, we have two tubes right here. We have some more over here in the corner, and we have one of them inside of a protective covering right here. And we also have a little tiny tube down there in the corner by the antenna. So I'm noticing right here, on first inspection, we have some various coils in here. These are probably for the receiving part of AM and FM frequencies. And as you can see, they have a little rod that goes through them so that you can change frequency. And we have some capacitors, resistors on the speaker. Okay. Now, right off the bat, I noticed there's a great big old huge capacitor down there in the bottom of the radio. So we may want to slowly crank this thing up on the variable transformer just to make sure. Oh, look at that rectifier right there. That's an old rectifier. So, and there's our volume potentiometer. So upon first glance, the radio looks in really good shape. I'm not noticing anything missing per se. The speakers is there and okay. Yeah, it looks okay. So what we should do is crank this thing up on the Variac, and well, before we do that, let's take a look under the underside and see what all is going on under there, and then we'll attempt to hook it up and get it running. Here's a look at the bottom of the frame and the chassis. So there's no bottom on this chassis. You can see inside quite nicely at all the old components, and you can tell this is a vintage radio because they don't manufacture components like this anymore, nor do they use them anymore. As you can see that right off the bat, we have a large ultra capacitor pretty much. This is a quite large old capacitor, and we'll definitely want to be careful powering it up for the first time because we don't want to damage that capacitor starting it up. We'll probably do the Variac treatment on this one because if you plug this radio into the 110 volts main when it hasn't been used for a while, you can shock these capacitors and cause them to explode or short circuit, and you can damage other components by doing that. So what we're going to do is take a quick peek in here of what's inside. As you can see, here's our tuners right here, AM/FM. So we can tune frequencies in right there, like so, on the knob on the front. And we also have an indicator string over there. I'm not seeing any variable capacitors or anything of that nature on the bottom. But as you can see here, our tube sockets, our tubes connect here and here. And we have a filter cap right there on the line. That should reduce noise. Well, they're supposed to anyways. Reduce hum, and in some cases they do. Sometimes they're called death caps. Please excuse that transformer coming on. As a matter of fact, you could probably hook an auxiliary input into this radio through the amplifier tube. As a matter of fact, you could. Look, if you notice, everything is grounded right to the frame. See that weld, not weld, but see the solder right there on the frame? So this chassis is ground. Sure enough, there you go. You probably could hook an audio signal into the volume potentiometer, and it would go into the amplifier tube, amplify that through the rest of the circuit, and then ground to the frame. You could actually hook your MP3 player up to this radio and use it, as a matter of fact. Don't try this at home, because if you accidentally tap, 100 volts DC, you'll blow your phone or whatever else. You could even kill yourself doing that. So let me do the dumb stuff here, and we'll see if we can get this radio going. Okay guys, so we're inside the house now in a quiet spot so you can hear this radio operate. I have warmed it up on the transformer and everything seems to be working properly. The tubes light up, they glow, and audio does come through the speaker. So without further ado, let's power this radio on and see what it can do. Okay, it's on. First thing you notice is a glow in the tubes. That's a good sign. So we'll continue to let this radio warm up for a little bit. Listen for some sounds coming in the speaker. We're beginning to hear a little bit of static. That'll fade away as soon as the tubes are fully warmed up. If we check around on this other side here, we can see the antenna tuners, the frequency. Here we go. These tubes are glowing. That tube's glowing. That one too. Everything seems to be working properly. No smoke or anything. The transformer seems to be in good shape. Except for the back. Let's hope it doesn't short out. Oh, I'm starting to hear an audio signal. Oh, let's try tuning it in. And there you go, folks. Let me get that switch back. And look at that, good as new. Would you listen to that? '40s radio, or 1950s probably is more accurate, but still, there's not a date on it, so I'm not sure how old it is, but I imagine it's in that time frame. And it sounds as good as new. And one last thing, the speaker was making a little rattling noise, so a bit of hot glue fixed that, and it's nearly fully functional now. Watch that. And well, what do you know? Sounds good to me. Let's see if we can find another station.
Through the 15th, 2018.
Whether it's your first time or your 5th or 6th time, you will love traveling with newfound friends.
There you go, folks. The 1950s tube radio brought back to life with a few easy steps. And as you can see, it
You're
sounds
listening
great.
to All Things Considered from NPR News.
Support for it.
Well, once again, guys, I want to thank you for watching my videos, and if you like this, give this video a like or share, and subscribe if you want to see more tube radios and things of this nature, because I've definitely got more, and we'll be doing more videos. So, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later. So, catch you later.